भगवान हे भगवान
हे भगवान हे भगवान हे भगवान हे भगवान हे भगवान
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यस्यान्तन्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नाम गोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो नानपुंसं न च स्त्रीं नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्टान्तेव सदृशिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वेदान्तार्थविभासकायेतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभितां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतां कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयम्। चूडोत्तंसितचन्द्रचारुकलिकां चञ्चच्छिखाभास्वरो लीलादग्धविलोलकामशलभश्रेयो दशाग्रे स्फुरन् अन्तःस्फूर्जतपारमोहतिमिरप्राग्भारमुच्चाटयन् चेतः सद्मनियोगिनां विजयते ज्ञानप्रदीपो हरः। ओम स्मरण कहकर Swami able to hear? उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्यां जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपं विद्राविताशेषतमो गणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्य मायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महान् तत्त्वमसीति बोधं ममाद्यदेवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात् कृतसन्निधानः ओङ्काररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तमपाकरोतु त्वत्पादाम्बुजमर्चयामि परमं त्वां चिन्तयाम्यन्वहं त्वामीशं शरणं व्रजामि वचसा त्वामेव याचे विभो वीक्षां मे दिशचाक्षुषीं सकरुणां दिव्यैश्चिरं प्रार्थितां शम्भो लोकगुरो मदीयमनसः सौख्योपदेशं कुरु। ॐ नमः परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्यवरेण्येभ्यः वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्थेभ्यो विशुद्धब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायाध्वप्रदर्शकेभ्यः श्रीगौडपादाचार्य शङ्करभगवत्पादाचार्य सुरेश्वराचार्येभ्यः नमो गुरुभ्यः। Today morning, we had a very profound talk on sannyasa, renunciation, by our most revered Parama Pujya Swamiji Muktanandaji Maharaj. It's actually the essence of renunciation that he spoke. The example that he gave is also very significant, that people will look at the fruit, the sweetness of the fruit. That is true with many, many great sages. When you see the full blossoming of jnana in a person, no one inquires the source. And sometimes it is unfindable also. You cannot find. Shankaracharya has given a very, very beautiful verse. He is quoting from somewhere. As you cannot trace the root of a bird in the sky, or trace the root of a fish inside water, so too you cannot find the root taken by a realized being. Vihaganam yathakashe jale varicarasya cha yathapatham na drishyete tatha jnanavatam gatihi. But when one has to take that path deliberately, when one has to walk that path, he is neither here nor there. There is a story told about Buddha. We know how much he struggled to attain that state. And he was sitting after that enlightenment, we were sitting in that joy, that bliss of that samadhi. And according to their Buddhistic narration, they say one Devata came. And very interesting name that Devata has. They say the Brahma Sampatti Devata came. So the very name of the Devata is Brahma Sampatti, means you can say it is the Devata of enlightenment. That is nothing but compassion. So that Devata came and argued with Buddha. Buddha said, I don't want to go anywhere, teach anybody. Because this bliss of this inner nirvana is so inviting. Why should again go to this world? Then that Brahma Sampatti Devata said, there are many who are like Chataka birds thirsting for water. Like that they are thirsting for this message. Varta, that is the word. They are thirsting for the Varta. The moment the Varta is delivered, the message is delivered, the inner seed will burst. The inner seed of liberation, they are carrying the seed of liberation in their heart, it will burst. And Vairagya will happen, seeking will happen. So you have to go and teach. Then he said, if they have real Vairagya, they will seek like me. If they do not have that amount of mumukshutva in them, even if I go and tell them, they will not listen. So what is the use? Neither this class nor that class needs me. So I will better sit here immersed in this bliss. If you go to Buddha Gaya, on the right side there is a small hillock-like place where they have put a board, the Animeshalochana Buddha. Says he sits looking at the Bodhi tree without his eyes flickering. With that vacant look, he is sitting there. So, when he put forth this argument, that Devata said, you are right, but there are people who neither belongs to this class nor belongs to that class. They are neither the first class seekers, nor are they absolutely sleeping. You have to just call and they will wake up. For them, you have to go. Those with little dust, this is the word. There is a book written by Arthur Osborne, who was in Ramanacharana, and the name of the book is To Those Who With Little Dust in Their Eyes. Just in Bhagavad Gita also, there are 3 examples given by Bhagavan. Just like smoke covering fire. Yatha dhumena avriyate vannihi yathadarsho malayana cha yatholbena avrito garbha tatha tenedam avritam jnanam etena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena analena cha. This is the verse. Desire or kama has completely covered the inner being, the drishti, the avaranaya. And the avarana is 3 types. One is like smoke covering the fire. You need not do anything. Just fan the fire, the smoke will go. You need not attend to the smoke. You just allow the fire to blaze forth. The smoke will go. So too, when the jnana has already started shining, this ignorance, little bit of ignorance will naturally drop off. And etol bena avrito garbha, like the placenta covering the fetus. There you cannot do anything. You have to wait till the child comes out. There you should not disturb the Garbhapatra, the womb. Like that, absolute ignorance, you cannot do anything. Let Bhagavan himself said, Na buddhi bhedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam. Do not disturb them. Let them live in their ignorance till they themselves decides to come out. And in between is this stage, yatha adarsho malenacha, like dust covering a mirror. Take a small piece of cloth and just clean the mirror, you can see the reflection. So those who are like that, they need a method, a prescribed system where they can walk easily. Natyantam ajnaha no tatnyaha sosmin shastre adhikaravan. He is neither absolute ajnani nor jnani. For him, this Vedanta Shastra is useful. This is Yoga Vasishtam. So, this Paramahamsa Dharma has been dealt very deeply in many texts exclusively, like Vishveshwara Saraswati's book, Yati Dharma Samuchaya, and many other texts dealing with Sannyasa Ashrama, and all the 10 Upanishads. They also give clue that the Mundaka Ishavasya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Aitareya Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka, Prashna, Brihadaranyaka, Chandogya, all these 10, and also Shvetashvatara Shruti. In all these 10 Upanishads and commentary Bhashya, Bhagavad-pada has Bhagavad-pada has spoken about Sannyasa Dharma. And there are Upanishads which speak exclusively about Sannyasa Ashrama, like Jabala Shruti, which Acharya has quoted in many of his bhashyams. And there are Upanishads which were not spoken by Acharyas, like Narada Parivrajaka Upanishad. They are also speaking about this Yati Dharma. So, yesterday also we spoke about it. The Shruti Pramana, the Brihadaranyaka, we usually quote the Brihadaranyaka Shruti, Etam Vaitam Atmanam Viditva Brahmanaha Putreshanayascha Vitteshanayascha Lokeshanayascha Vyutyaya Atha Bhikshacharyam Charanti. This is the Shruti that usually is quoted. They become free from Putreshana, Vitteshana and Lokeshana. This Eshana is this Vasana, desire, is ignorance. By becoming free of that, they become bhikshus, bhikshacharyam charanti. Etam eva pravrajano lokamichantaha pravrajanti. These are all shrutis that is being very often quoted by Bhagavad-pada. Sarveshanani vrittihi parivrajyam brahmavidaha vidhiyate eva. This is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Bhashya. So these are all Veda Pramanas, Bhashya Pramanas for Yati Dharma. And the stage where one enters into this enquiry, generally, as we said yesterday, Brahmacharyat grihi bhavet, grihi bhutva vani bhavet, vani bhutva pravrajet, athava brahmacharyadeva grihadva vanadva. Generally, many in the Vedic parampara, there are many who after a good grihasthashrama, they take to sannyasashrama. But there are also great mighty beings who come to sannyasashrama directly from brahmacharya ashrama. There is a very beautiful sloka quoted by Bhagavad-pada. Samsarameva nissaram buddhva saradidrikshaya pravrajanti akrutodvahaha param vairagyam ashritaha. They have such viveka, discrimination, that from their very childhood they recognize that this samsara is nissara. See, when you see the term samsara, it looks as if some sara is there. That sampurvaka sara, upasarga, that some is there, that prefix is there, so it looks some sara is there. So they are seeking the sara. But at last you find that it is asara. Kadali stambavan nissaraha is the example that he gives. Kadali stamba means the plantain tree. It will look like a good pillar, very beautiful, it looks like very polished. If you do not know what it is, you will just think it's the easiest pillar that you can keep. But it has no strength. Perhaps that is why they use it as a Mangala Dravya in marriage. It's a silent message. This is life. Nissara. In Shankaracharya, many places uses these words. Asare, samsare. In Shivananda Lahari, there is a very beautiful verse. Asare, samsare, nija bhajana dure jadadhiya brahmantam mam andham paramakrupaya patum uchitam madanyah ko deenah tava kripana rakshati nipunah tvadanyah ko va metri jagati sharanyah pashupate. I have come to this samsara which is nissara, asara. And the problem is nija bhajana dure. I am going away and away and away from nija bhajana. That's nija bhajana means going away from nija labha. Not seeking one's own real nature. Moving away from oneself. Jadadhiya. And I am more and more getting caught in this padartha bhavana drishti. The world is real, material things are real. Brahmantam, I am roaming about. Mam andham, I am blind, O Lord. Brahmantam mam andham, parama kripaya patum uchitam. With great compassion, by your grace, you have to rescue me. Help me to come out of this samsara. Madanyah ko deenaha. Who is there a deena? A very weak person. Much more deena than me. Nobody is there. Madanyah ko deenaha tava kripana rakshati nipunah tvadanyah ko va me. You are the great expert in rescuing people like me. Kripana rakshati nipunah tvadanyah ko va me trijagati sharanyah pashupate. So here Shankaracharya is telling I am a deena. a Jivan Mukta also becomes a Bhakta. And Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi also, those who do not know the Tamil songs of Maharshi will think that it is impossible for Maharshi to write like this. He has also written, En polum Deenarai. In Tamil he has written, I am a Deena. Inburakkathani ennalum vazhundarul Arunachala. So, there is no Sara in this samsara, and the mumukshu is seeking Sara. And what is that Sara? Pravrajanti. He goes out as a pravrajaka, parivrajaka. Akurtodvaha. One exact thing, Visheshana given is without getting caught in marriage, in vivaha. Pravrajanti akurtodvaha. Param vairagyam ashritaha. With immense vairagya, immense dispassion. So this is the verse that Shankaracharya quotes. So this yati dharma, as we said yesterday, in its essence is what Swamiji told today. It is nothing but jnanam. Jnanam sannyasa lakshanam. And jnanam is what? Jnanam is the swarupa. It is our very nature. It is also not something which we have to attain. It is the nityasiddha vastu. In fact, that is the only thing which is ever available. Pratyakshavagavam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. And jnanam is the Atma Swarupa. It is Swarupa Bhuta Jnanam, and to know that you need this Vritti Jnanam, Shrotavyaha, Mantavyaha, Nididhyasitavyaha. So when a person becomes a mumukshu, a virakta, he has only one work to do. As a Vividisha sannyasi, he sits under a teacher and listens to the real nature of the self. The first step is Shrotavyaha. Sometimes the magic can happen by Shravana itself. You need no Manana or Nididhyasan. Even Bhagavata says that Shushru Shubhi Takshanat. The moment you listen, that aparoksha vastu shines forth, because it is already aparoksha. Yes, Sakshad aparokshad Brahma. It is Sarvanubhuhu. It is the only thing that you are experiencing, Nijabodha. It is in you as the Aham Shabda Vachya. The real implied meaning, the import of your own Aham, I. It's already shining forth in you, Swayam Prakasha Vastu. If you sit in a dark room, you might not be aware of others, but you know you exist. One's own existence, astitvam, asti bhati priyam. That existence needs no pramana. It needs no other pramana. It is nitya siddha. You know I am. Swabodhe na anya bodhecha bodharupataya atmanaha na deepasya anya deepecha yatha swatma prakashane. One lamp needs no other lamp to illuminate. Like that, to know one's own existence, one's own astitva, no other pramana is needed. It is shining forth ever as I within. But it is being confused with the body, the mind, the senses. Acharya Bhagavad-pada in his Adhyasa Bhashya Brahma Sutra begins with this. There are two elements. One is light, the other is darkness. And the I is light, and everything else. For that he uses the word you. युष्मद् अस्मत् प्रत्यय गोचरयोः विषय विषयिणोः तमः प्रकाशवद् विरुद्ध स्वभावयोः. This asmat pratyaya, this experience of I is swayam prakasha. It is anubhava. Purely according to Vedanta, this chit alone is anubhava. One's existence as I alone is anubhava. Even this body feeling, if I pinch, the pain is there, but that is only sensation, it is only pratiti. Thoughts are coming in the mind, it is also manasika vyapara, it's manasa pratyaksha. But one's own existence is not pratyaksha, it is neither apratyaksha, it is aparoksha, it is immediate, it is, Swamiji used the word immanent. It is ever experienced, nityanubhuta. It is shining forth in everyone. That is why once you recognize it, you find there are no ajnanis. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi very often said, I don't find anyone ajnani. Sarvanubhuhu. Everyone is ever experiencing it. We don't know why they fail to accept it. It is ever there in all. Ya tiryang nara devatabhir ahamityanta sputa grihyate. Yadbhasa hridayaksha deha vishayaha bhanti svato chetanaham. Tam bhasihi pihitarka mandala nibham spurtim sada bhavayan. Yogi nirvrta manaso hi guruhu ityesha manisha mama. Ya tiryang nara devatabhihi. This is the Manisha Panchakam. In animals, in man, and even in gods, in devas. Ahamiti antasputa agrihyate. In everyone, in the heart, something is very clearly experienced as I. It is the sputa anubhava. It's very clear. It is not like any mental experience or physical experience. It is the experience of bodha. So it is there in the waking state, dream state, and even in deep sleep state. In deep sleep state, this self-image I is not there, but one's existence as complete happiness, sukha swarupa is there. Astitva is there. So it remains changeless in the Jagrat, Swapana, Sushupti, Balya, Kaumara, Yavana, Vardhakya, everything comes and goes. But this experience of Aham is always same, changeless. It is experienced by all. The Shravana, Vedanta Shravana is done to turn your attention towards this utterly simple experience. Nothing special. The most simple experience, the most constant element in our experience. Everything else has come and gone, changed, come and go. Thoughts come and go. Even you have meditation, some spiritual feeling, that also come and go. Meditative states come and go. Even samadhi sometimes comes and goes. Akhandananda Swamiji has written a verse, very beautiful verse, where he says, Vaikuntha kena drishta Shravanapathagata swapnavad bhati chitte. Vaikuntha, who has seen? Even the descriptions that we get about Vaikuntha is like swapana. It also, when it is described, you see it in your mind and it disappears. Vaikuntha kena drishtaha Shravanapathagata swapnavad bhati chitte Tad vrittinam nirodha. That vritti nirodha, that yoga samadhi, sahaja shayanavat, tatra kova pramodaha. It also happens, and like sleep, you come out of it. Prak pratyak bhava muktam. Some experience comes which was not in the past. It is certain that you will lose it in the future. But something is there in you which was in the past, which is in the present, which will be in the future. Trikala abadhyam prak pratyak bhava muktam tadidam aham iti brahma purnam nachanyat. Purnanandopadesho dishi vitishi sada mangalam de dishitu. This is a very fascinating shloka. That something which is experienced as aham, as I, it is ever there. The moment you recognize it, when you listen, your attention immediately is turned towards it, and you recognize that it looks as if it is upadhi parichinna, limited by the body mind. Ashariram sharireshu anavastheshu avasthitam mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro na shochati is the Kathopanishad mantra. Sharireshu avasthitam atmanam. It appears as if it is in the sharira, in the body, but it has no connection with the body. The experience of I has no connection with the body. So you separate some portion of the body, amputate the hand never says I. You amputate the leg never says I. Now clinically they are removing liver, kidney, heart, transplantations are done. But there is no I there. But the experience of I, this chit, is there when you are alive now. And it is the constant, simple experience. It appears as if sharireshu avasthitam, as if it is in the body. But the moment you go and look at it, ashariram, it is bodiless. The drishtanta given is deep sleep. In deep sleep, every day you experience bodilessness, mindlessness, egolessness, and there was that sukha was there, that nirvriti was there. And the moment the I thought arises, the mind blossoms. You enter the dream world, then the waking world, the body also appears. But when you contemplate deeply in the nididhyasana, you recognize that the I arises from the heart and it merges back in the heart. When it merges back in the heart, you recognize that adhisthana which is free of body and mind. Mahantam vibhum atmanam matva. When that recognition happens, dhiraha na shochati. He is a real dhira. No more shoka for him, no more grief for him. Because all shoka comes because of association with what you are not, with the body, with the mind. Dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga samjnitam. When you have assumed contact with the body and mind, the nature of the body is superimposed on your real nature. The nature of the mind, characteristics of the mind is superimposed on yourself. The ego is superimposed on yourself. Then you suffer. And when you remove all this and see your real nature nakedly, that is why they call it nirvana. Nirvana is niravarana. Gaudapadacharya calls such a jnani as niravarana drishti. His drishti, all the avarana is removed. The covering is removed, the veil is removed. And in his real being, he recognized the Sachidananda Vastu. Although the body mind is there, ashariram sharireshu anavastheshu avasthitam mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro nashochati. The Chandogya Upanishad declares this. Ashariram va vasantam na priya priye sprishataha. When one recognizes one's real nature as bodiless, no more affectation from attachment and aversion, raga or dvesha. Such a person is free. And such a freedom is possible while you are in the body. That in Sampradaya they call as Jivan Mukti. But actually, Mukti is the very nature of the self. Mukti hi Atmaiva. Mukti is the very nature of the Atma. The moment you know what the real nature is, it is ever free, it has nothing to do with the body or mind. But when that knowledge arises in the heart, the person becomes free. This knowledge can happen in Grihasthashrama also. Grihasthashrame vividisha sannyasa avasthayam va kirta nirantara shravana manana nididhyasanaihi utpanna atma sakshatkaro bhutva ekante manonasha vasanakshayabhyasartam vidyukta pragarena yadrisham sannyasam svikaroti sa vidvat sannyaso nama. So sometimes in Grihasthashrama also this jnana happens, like Vidyaranya. Many Mahapurushas were there like that. Or in the Vividisha Sannyasa Ashrama also, through constant Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, this Sakshatkara happens. Firm knowledge happens, Dridha Jnana happens. Kaivalya Manita puts it as Dridha Jnana. Ignorance is completely removed. As I said in the beginning, sometimes it happens by mere listening for very blessed souls. They need not again and again listen. It's like the master tells, you are that, finished, over. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi in his Saddarshana he says, that is real bhakti. He says, if you have real bhakti to Guru, when Guru tells you Tattvamasi, you should not even do self-enquiry. Ahasputam Tattvamasi vedaha tathapi asamprapya paratmanishtham bhuyo vicharaha matidurbalatvam tat sarvada svatmatayahi bhati. That Atman is always shining forth in your heart. So there is no again vichara. That vichara prakriya itself comes to rest. And the person is absolutely free. That is the power of real faith, real bhakti. If that real bhakti is there, Sakrit Shravana is enough. But generally, that cadre of people are very rare. So you need avarti. Again and again listening. Manana, nididhyasana. And constant manana, nididhyasana without disturbance is not possible in Grihasthashrama or even in Brahmacharya Ashrama. Especially those who have come in the Vedic tradition, for them also, so many karma vyapara is there. Shruti Veda has itself prescribed these two methods. Pravritti lakshano dharmaha nivritti lakshanascha. Bhagavata says raga viraga upadhi. If the upadhi is of viraga, it is for nivritti. If it is for raga, it is pravritti. So this pravritti lakshana dharma is there so many rituals has to be performed every day. They will not have any time. So for them, when they become ripe enough to constantly meditate on the self, Atma Dhyana, generally they will not dare to give up all the rituals unless Veda Mata herself gives them permission. So that permission, vidhina vihita karmanam vidhina parityagaha, the karma that is being prescribed by the Vedas, Vedas themselves allow him to go out. Now enough, you have done enough. Now you are ready for that Naishkarmya sthiti. Saying this, you go now free. Sometimes, they will hold strong even in that state. No, I will not come out. Yesterday we told the story of Sureshwaracharya. He was holding to it with so much strength. Then Lord himself appeared there as Acharya Bhagavad-pada, had a debate with him, conquered him, and brought him to this Paramahamsa Ashrama. Where Sureshwaracharya says, Tasmai Shankara Bhanave Tanu Mano Vagbhihi Namasyat Sadam. I bow down to that splendorous son of Jnana, who was so compassionate to me, who came to my home and conquered me and gave me this great Jnana by which I attained that freedom. And there he says, Yasyasma Shishyaihi, by the Shishya, by the disciples of Shankaracharya, by their splendor, sun is becoming powerless. So much splendor, effulgence is there. So it is not simply 4 Shishyas, innumerable Shishyas. We know, even our Swamiji Sivanandaji Maharaj had so many disciples, so many paramparas. So many came in that parampara. So when a great Mahapurusha comes, many, many lamps will be lit. Many sampradayas come. So this yatyashrama is prescribed so that they can spend all their time in manana and nididhyasana. That freedom is given. This is about the Vedic sannyasa that I spoke. Today's morning Swamiji spoke about purely only spiritual sannyasa, which is possible for anyone. When the spiritual thirst comes inside, they will not take permission from anyone. When the call comes, they listen to that call and go out. That happens naturally. Sometimes, such sannyasis, they need no name or anything. Kanchi Shankaracharya Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Swami was there. He's a great Mahatma. One of his disciples, his name was Rajagopalan, he was serving this saint for many years. Very selfless person, very dedicated. While he was a brahmachari, he will only cook his food. He will not take even a banana from the mutt. So Swami used to say, I have a person who will not even take a banana from the mutt. He will cook his food and eat and do his all anushtana, and morning 2:30 take a cycle to bring water from a non-existing river for the Swami to bath. That Palar, the Payasvini in Kanchi, there is no water there, but he will go and dig and take water and come back. Then one day, Swami found that he is a very ripe soul. He just put his paduka and said, you take sannyasa. Danda, everything was given. That was a mysterious sannyasa. Danda was given, everything was given, and no name was given. Yogapatta was not given. So when asked, he said, what Yogapatta is there for Brahman? He said. So he was very great tapasvi. In his later days, he used to take only fruits, no anna bhakshana, and very innocent, very devout, great Guru Bhakta. He was called Nochur Swami. So once he walked the entire length and breadth of India. He walked like his own guru. At least Paramacharya was a great Madhadipati, so he had all his followers and arrangements, but he had no arrangements. When I was studying in Kaladi, he came there by walk. And he was doing his anushtana there. I went and did namaskara. Then he spoke to me sometimes. A few hours we had some conversation. After that, later on, I was very close with him. But when he was walking in North India, somewhere, perhaps, I don't know, it was in Himalayas or somewhere, some sannyasi belonging to Nagasadhu or someone asked him, what is your Yogapatta? He had no Yogapatta. His guru gave him, so he is a Dandi sannyasi and great Anushtata, Tapasvi, but had no Yogapatta. So he was moving about like that. So he broke the Yoga Danda, that sadhu, and put it in the river and gave him a hit with it. He just bore it, and later on he told me this story. This happened to me. So then I understood that Yogapatta is needed but for others, not for me. My guru decided I don't need Yogapatta, but others will ask, what is your Yogapatta? So I have to say that. So that in such cases, they were so ripe. The way he lived, very humble, very devout, great Guru Bhakta. Not a big scholar, but his anushtana, his tapas, everything was, you can feel in the presence that simplicity, that freedom, everything. So such great Mahatmas were there in any sampradayas. Yesterday I told about many of those who got that from Ramana Bhagwan. They became sannyasis, they became bhikshus, but there was no name, there was no changing of cloth also, but they tonsured the head. They were all bhikshus. So such are also there. But when you come as a seeker in the prescribed form, in the Vedic path, then this path is there. We cannot say completely who is the real author of all this, because this is the Paramahamsa Mimamsa of Sachidanandendra Saraswati Swami of Ole Narsipur. Swamiji has done a great research where he says Shankaracharya did not change the name, and they have the argument that Sureshwara also was his name, and this Dashanami Sampradaya has come from Shankaracharya, we say. So somewhere it has started. Some great Mahatma or Shankaracharya himself has started this Sampradaya. So this Sampradaya Sannyasa is needed for those who come with deliberation to walk this path in a disciplined way, and those who especially belong to the Advaitic tradition. See, Vishishtadvaita tradition, it is entirely different. For them it is Tridanda Sannyasa. They have the Tridanda Sannyasa. Actually in Bhagavatam also when they speak about Sannyasa, it is Tridanda. But Bhagavata says, Maunaniha nilayamaha danda vagdeha chetasam yasyam na santyete venubhir na bhavedyatihi. Mauna, silence of the walk, and desire, no desires, and pranayama. Without these three, simply carrying three sticks, he will not become a yati. So the real yati, so this danda grahana is, it's also a sign. We need not discuss much about that. It is also a sign of the sampradaya, and certain Mahatmas, they do danda visarjana and become free of that also. Some carry the danda. It's all according to their guru tradition, their parampara. But the sure sign of sannyasa is jnanam sannyasa lakshanam. And jnanam, along with jnanam, along with atma jnana, all other dharmas like samatva, sarvasamabhava, which we call as love, and along with that, all the sambandha sadhanas like viveka, vairagya, shama, dama, uparati, shraddha, samadhana, mumukshutva. There is upasana sannyasa, like Vishishtadvaita, Advaita, it is all upasana sannyasa. Their upasana is more important. And Advaita sannyasa contains everything. It contains upasana, it contains everything, is all inclusive it is. But really, when we say sannyasa, Paramahamsa Ashrama, it is purely jnana. So, it is a very, very large, vast subject. And many scholarly Mahatmas have discussed about it a lot. Whether it is to be done like this or not like that. And there are arguments that it is not needed. This outer sannyasa is not needed. That also many people are saying. If those who feel that they can stay without that, that is okay for them. But Ramakrishna used to say, those who have that samskara inside them, if you put the kashaya vastra on his body, he will enter into samadhi. That kind of bhava is there. That bhava is there. Many is born with that bhava. That sannyasa ashrama bhava, they are born with that. It is very deeply ingrained in certain mumukshus. So for them, this ashrama is there. Tapovan Maharaj in his life story discusses a lot about this Turiya ashrama. Whether it will live like this for the coming years, because we are becoming more and more and more modern. And many old things which our ancients were doing, we are not able to do. And our traveling mode has changed. Now itself I found it a little bit difficult to come here with the danda. Formerly I thought danda visarjana can be done, but Shankari Acharya told me, people like you should not do that. Those who have come in the real parampara have had the Shastra Shravana, you should hold this. So just because Acharya told that, I was carrying that. So these outer difficulties are all there, but the real thing is one has to hold on to the inner tyaga. Tyage naike amrtatvam anashuhu. As Ramakrishna puts it very simply, kama kanchana tyaga. Giving up of, he says kama, it's lust, desire, Kanchana, gold, it means seeking wealth for one's own purpose, for one's own enjoyment. Humorously we were talking, one more thing should be added: Kama, Kanchana and mobile. Because so much distraction has come over that. So if these three you are becoming free, the way, see, we have to find some new kind of mobile, only necessary conversation and necessary use, otherwise it is very, very difficult for a sadhaka. Because no ekanta, you go anywhere, you sit inside a cave, then also this is there, you have the whole world with you. So no meditation is possible. No niridhyasana is possible. The entire world you are carrying in a small thing. So we have to, all great Matadhipatis, Mahatmas have to sit together and again have a great dialogue about this ashrama, how it should function. But that is also not easy, because a sannyasi is a free person. He will not even obey the Vedas. Vedairapi uktam nashrunoti. So he is just a free bird. Bahavaiha vihangaha bhikshucharyam charanti. Like a bird, he just flies. So that is, it is not that easy a thing to do. So we will have one more session tomorrow. We will see some more aspects of this dharma. Hara Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva Yato Mamatma Bhavasi Tvameva Tato Na Vachyam Mama Kinchitasti Yathata Veshtam Kurumam Tatheva Tvam Atmanatham.